You've done everything right. You opened a savings account. You set up automatic transfers. You stopped buying things you didn't need. Month after month, you watched that number climb: $3,000, $6,000, $10,000. And for a while, that felt like winning. Then you did the math. At 0.5% interest, your $10,000 earned you $50 last year. $50. Meanwhile, inflation quietly ran at 3%, meaning your money actually lost purchasing power while sitting there looking safe. That's the savings trap. And millions of disciplined, responsible people are stuck in it right now. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how to escape it, not by taking reckless risks, but by understanding the one shift that separates people who save money from people who build wealth. Here's something most personal finance advice gets wrong. It tells you to save more, but never tells you what to do next. Saving and investing are not the same thing. They're not even close. And confusing them is one of the most expensive financial mistakes you can make. Saving is about preservation. It protects money you already have. It keeps it liquid, accessible, safe from loss. Investing is about transformation. It takes money and puts it to work, generating returns, compounding over time, and ultimately building wealth that saving alone can never create. Let me show you exactly what that gap looks like in real numbers. $10,000 in a savings account at 1% interest over 20 years becomes roughly $12,200. You added $2,200. Fine. That same $10,000 invested in a broad market index fund, averaging the S&P 500's historical return of around 10% annually, becomes approximately $67,000 over the same 20 years. You added $57,000. Same starting point. Same time. A $54,800 difference, simply from where the money lived. But here's the part no one talks about: most people know this. And they still don't invest. Why? Because investing feels dangerous and saving feels safe. When your money is in a savings account, it doesn't move. It doesn't scare you. It just sits there, steady and predictable. But investments fluctuate. Markets drop. Sometimes dramatically. You watch your portfolio fall 15% and everything in your brain says pull it out, protect what's left. That fear isn't irrational. It's human. But it's also the single biggest wealth killer in personal finance, not bad investments, not market crashes, not even inflation. It's the emotional response to short-term volatility that causes people to abandon long-term strategies. The solution isn't to eliminate that fear. It's to build a structure that makes giving into it unnecessary. That's what this step-by-step path is designed to do. Step 1. Lock in your emergency fund. Non-negotiable. Before a single dollar goes toward investing, you need 3 to 6 months of living expenses in cash, sitting in a high-yield savings account, untouched. Not because emergencies are likely on any given month, but because without this cushion, life will force you to liquidate your investments at the worst possible moment, when you need the money fast, not when the market is favorable. This is one of the leading causes of panic selling. People invest without a safety net, an emergency hits, and they sell at a loss out of pure necessity. The emergency fund isn't optional. It's what makes investing sustainable. Step 2. Mentally separate your money into 2 distinct jobs. One bucket handles security. The other handles growth. These buckets have completely different rules. Security money never goes into the market. It doesn't chase returns. Its only job is to be there when you need it. Growth money is patient. It stays invested through downturns because its timeline is years, sometimes decades, not weeks. This separation is critical. When the market drops 20%, you don't panic because you know your security money is intact. Your growth money is just doing what growth money does, moving through a cycle. Step 3. Start smaller than you think you need to. There's a common misconception that investing requires significant capital to be meaningful. It doesn't. What investing requires is the habit. Starting with $100 per month is infinitely more valuable than waiting until you have $10,000 in a lump sum, because the habit is what compounds. The discipline is what builds. And starting late is almost always more expensive than starting small. Most major brokerage platforms today have no minimum investment requirements. The barrier to entry has never been lower. The only real barrier is inertia. Step 4. Begin with simple, diversified investments. This is where beginners make costly detours. They get interested in investing, start researching, and end up going down rabbit holes: individual stock picks, option strategies, cryptocurrency speculation, day trading. These are not beginner strategies. They are, for most retail investors, statistically poor long-term choices. The approach that outperforms most active strategies over 20-year periods? Index funds. Specifically, low-cost index funds that track broad markets like the S&P 500 or total market indexes. You're not picking winners. You're buying a slice of hundreds of companies at once, instant diversification, minimal fees, and returns that have historically tracked the overall growth of the economy. Warren Buffett, arguably the greatest investor of the 20th century, has consistently stated that for most people, a low-cost S&P 500 index fund is the single best investment available. That's not a beginner tip. That's the most informed perspective in modern finance. Step 5. Invest consistently, regardless of market conditions. This is the step that does the most work, and the one that requires the most discipline. Consistent investing, putting the same amount in every month, whether markets are up or down, is a strategy called dollar-cost averaging. And it has a powerful, counterintuitive advantage. When markets drop, your fixed monthly contribution buys more shares at lower prices. When markets recover, those extra shares gain value. You don't need to time the market. You just need to stay in it. Here's what consistent investing looks like in practice. $300 per month, invested in a broad index fund averaging 8% annual returns, over 25 years becomes roughly $285,000. Your total contributions? $90,000. The rest, nearly $195,000, is compounding doing its work, quietly, in the background, year after year. That's not speculation. That's math. Here's the analogy I want you to carry with you. Saving money is like building a wall. It protects you. It gives you shelter. But it doesn't grow. Investing money is like planting an orchard. The first few years, you're just tending soil. Nothing looks impressive. But years later, that orchard produces more fruit than you can eat, and it keeps producing. The people who build real wealth don't choose between the wall and the orchard. They build the wall first, then plant the orchard, and they give it time. Market downturns are part of the process. They're not failures, they're opportunities to buy more at lower prices. Every major crash in stock market history has been followed by recovery and new highs. The investors who stayed in captured that recovery. The ones who panicked locked in their losses. Long-term investors don't watch the market daily. They build a strategy that doesn't require it. Let's bring it together. Step 1. Build a 3 to 6 month emergency fund in cash. This is your foundation. Step 2. Mentally separate security money from growth money. Different jobs, different rules. Step 3. Start investing now, even if the amount feels small. The habit matters more than the size. Step 4. Keep it simple. Low-cost index funds outperform complexity for most people. Step 5. Stay consistent. Invest every month, ignore the noise, and let compounding work. Saving gives you stability. Investing gives you options. And options, over time, become freedom. The gap between where you are and where you want to be financially isn't usually a gap in income. It's a gap in strategy. And the strategy starts with this transition. If this gave you a clearer path forward, subscribe, because we break down these concepts every week without the fluff. And I want to know where you are right now. Are you in the saving stage, or have you already made the move into investing? Drop it in the comments. I read every one.